Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Esports Analysis. For today's video, we're hopping into the fourth map between the Paris Legion and OpTic Gaming LA. If you look at the very top middle of your screen, you can see that Paris has the overall map lead. It's 2 maps to 1. And in terms of those 2 maps that they did win, they won both of the respawns and they won them fairly easily. So if you're OpTic, if you can get a win here in this hardpoint, then that's going to set up fairly well for you as you go into that search and destroy, because that search and destroy was a blowout. So all you have to do is get through this one, and if we're looking at the scoreboard in the top middle, this is a pretty good start so far. So one thing that I'll point out real quick is that spawns have flipped. So clearly Paris put all resources towards trying to flip spawns here, and they were able to do that. But one of the biggest mistakes that you'll see on maps like this, especially this one, I see it all the time on this one, is that the team that spawns out, that doesn't get the favorable spawn, right at the beginning, they put all their resources towards flipping spawn, and what ends up happening is they give up the vast majority of that time on the first hardpoint. So even though they were able to flip spawns, most of the time, if you were leaving this second hardpoint, you leave this like plus 30, plus 40 if you're really lucky. This is one that's easy to hold down like 30 or 40 points. It's super hard to hold down like 50 or 60 points. So even though they have spawns and they have control of the hill to begin with, a lot of this time is going to be contested. So at the end of this, we'll see just how much they're able to make up. Remember, they started this hill at 0, and right now they only have 10 points. In fact, OpTic has basically as many points in this second hill as Paris does. So I know that it's super important to flip because this second hardpoint is super critical. The second and the fourth here are really critical. So of course you want to do everything that you can do to flip, but you don't want to sacrifice all of that time. Even if they get the last 17 seconds here, it's going to be like a 35-point lead for OpTic as they have spawns going back into the third hardpoint. So as we're looking on screen right here, we just hopped on board with TJ, and he got a nice kill right in the middle of the map. And essentially what that kill did is it allowed his teammates to come off spawn. So OpTic, when they were coming off spawn, they were spawning in first hardpoint. So TJ, with that kill mid-map, was really big because essentially if he doesn't win that, then it's just a race for that back spawn for the third hill. So he won that 1v1. It allowed his teammates coming out of first to get back into that spawn, and now OpTic is set up here, or at least they were. They have spawns for this setup as it goes to the third hardpoint. But if you're watching the kill feed, Dashy got a couple, Kismet got one, Luca got one. So this really is going back and forth. It does seem like OpTic's getting the majority of this time, but I would guess that the majority of the rest of this is just going to be contested. I can't imagine that one team will win this over the other, but what you do want to look is the battle minimap, bottom left-hand corner. The bottom orange arrow is over in the first hardpoint, and essentially all they're doing is they have set up for bar. So I like that placement there because a lot of times what teams try to do is they try to flank through first, trying to get back to that bar fourth hardpoint. So Paris does have somebody set up over there. It didn't look like they realized that nobody was pushing through that right side, so now he's going back into bar. But if you're a Paris fan, what's really important right now is getting kills in the chokes out away from the hard point. So again, I'm just kind of watching the mini map in the bottom left-hand corner this entire time. But if you're Paris, you want to get kills in that blue courtyard, in that small choke coming out of the first hard point. You don't want this to happen. So if you end up getting these gun battles right inside the hard point, then these are essentially these are 50-50 gun battles, and whoever wins these gun battles is going to take control of the hard point. Whereas if you were pushed up a little bit, kind of like what they are right now, Zed got one, Den's got a couple, Shocks just got one. So they won that team gun battle, and now all of a sudden, once it went from third to fourth, they were down by like 40 points. Now they got the majority of this bar hard point, and the game is only like a 15-point game or so as it rotates into fourth. Now, as we are in the fifth hardpoint, the restaurant hardpoint here, let's talk about where you want to be for when this comes to a close. So, nice job originally by OpTic here, but remember, this is the fifth hardpoint. So, for the fifth hardpoint, after that's the first, and for the first hardpoint, you want to be on the side, the bar spawn side. So if we're just watching the mini-map, it does look like Paris is getting the spawns that you want to have, but they have nobody watching mid-map. So they have 2 in L, they have 2 in Hill, They have one outside of L, but nobody's watching the left side. So there's a green arrow. There are 2 green arrows coming through first hardpoint right now. And essentially what that's going to do is that if they can push through, then they're going to overtake that spawn. So this is a big battle down here. It's Slasher that's in Hill. They just switched to this person that was in first hardpoint. It doesn't look like OpTic is going to push out. Now, remember, where Paris got in trouble the first time is they gave up basically all of this point since they were battling so hard for those initial spawns going back, trying to flip for second. So we'll see if they're able to do a better job here. But right now, I mean, this is a part in time where whoever's your SMGs, you want to throw smokes. So those smokes, I'm pretty positive that smoke didn't actually come from Paris, but that's exactly what you want to do. If you can smoke off that cut and you can get in, this is perfect. So I don't think, I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but I'm pretty positive that smoke came from OpTic. And if it did, then that was a pretty big mistake, because if you're Paris, all you want to do is just smoke out that cut and get in. And now the battle kind of rotates from a battle inside the hill with only 18 seconds left. The battle is now rotating back for spawns for that back second hardpoint. It does look like Zed just went down to Slasher in hill. So as this next hardpoint comes up, it does look like OpTic is going to have hill control, but they're not going to have spawn control. So a lot going on right here. Quavo just got one. Dashy just got one. TJ just got one. So big battles going on back here as this gets back to the second hardpoint, and this is a heck of a game. It is tied right now, and usually whoever has this bar spawn has the advantage here. But man, Dashy just got 3. JCap, Dashy just got a 4-piece. Everybody went down for Paris, and that is a big turn of events in terms of who's probably going to end up winning this game. Wow, that's, now we just had a massive retake. So they were able to get about 15 seconds out of that, and then they went through, basically they won a team fight, and now there are 2 for Paris in the current hill. So they're going to get the rest of this these 20 seconds here. So as this is rotating from second to third, OpTic is set up, and those are big kills. So Dashy and TJ with big kills right in the middle of the map. So with the 7 seconds that are left here, OpTic is in position to get many of those points. Big 2-piece mid-map right there. TJ and Dashy just went down mid-map, and what that allows is that allows the underground route. So the tunnel route right in the middle is opened up. The hazmat route is opened up. That's what JCap is trying to push right here. He's trying to make it so that they can't push up through top hazmat. Those are nice kills from JCap, and essentially there was just a split second there where Paris had an opportunity. They had a window to push through, and they didn't. So I would guess that the last 30 seconds here are going to end up going to Paris, or going to end up going to OpTic. So if you are Paris, it is super important that you keep spawns for the 4th hardpoint. If you lose spawns for the 4th hardpoint, you're going to lose the game. So big turning point here. Nice job. Essentially, this all stems from that 4-piece that Dashy got, which ended up spawn trapping Paris over by first and back by back bar on that second hardpoint. And what happened is it allowed them to contest that hill. So that second hill, it allowed them to contest that time, and then as that was coming to a close, it allowed them to have positioning back for 3rd hardpoint. So now as it comes to 4th, the big battles to watch here are right there in blue courtyard. So I don't like this static cam. We don't need to see what's going on in the hardpoint. We need to see what's going on outside of the hardpoint in that blue courtyard area, like this battle right here by Shocks. These end up being pretty big kills. It does look like OpTic has overtaken that back spawn. It looks like OpTic is also in hill. So it's interesting to see where people are coming off spawns right now. So they are spawning. Paris is spawning back in this second hardpoint area. So OpTic didn't get them to spawn out. So right now, if Paris can overtake this, they're going to have spawns for the rest of this and for the first and for the second, but they have to have some slaying power here. So there's only 12 seconds left for OpTic to win. It does look like OpTic is pushing back through mid-map, and they're trying to set up a push for this 5th hardpoint. The last 5 seconds are going to go to Paris, so it's going to be like an 18-point game as this goes on. These kills are super clutch. I do think it's easier to hold down this 5th hardpoint from the blue courtyard side because there's really only 2 choke points in which that team can come through. Big kills right here. Den just got a kill on TJ. That's going to close off the pinch, and now OpTic spawning from behind. So that was a super lucky. That's going to end up being the game. Even though it's tied, OpTic overtook that back spawn, and they should be able to get in here. So they overtook that back spawn. They were able to pinch from the back spawn and from L, so they only need 5 seconds. This is a super close game. I just feel like the spawns are going to end up being what's dominant. TJ got a 2-piece slasher dash. Exactly what I said. Whoever ends up taking over that back spawn was going to end up winning that game. And you saw that Den's got a kill on TJ right in the choke point back there, but that was traded out as soon as OpTic overtook that back lane. They got that back spawn into blue hardpoint, and then from there, from blue courtyard, it's much easier to get into that 5th hardpoint from there. So interesting to see what happened there. I wish we could see the scoreboard because I do want to see whose SMGs played better. That's kind of a little bit of a bigger map, so it's interesting to see which AR played better also, but we didn't end up seeing that. So with that, guys, thank you so much. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to leave a like before you head on your way. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. We'll see you.